Let's go. Alright, y equals mx plus b. We got y equals the m, which is the slope, right? X plus b, which is the y-intercept, okay? Now, x and y are just the coordinates, right? So they're points. They're numbers that create points, right? And you could actually graph them using a t-chart. So you have x and y. And we could graph them. We could plug in x and solve for y, right? But what we're trying to do is be able to just graph it quickly, okay? And you're going to be doing this all the way to calculus, right? And so some of you are my calculus students, right?
Yeah.
So, we're going to solve for y. And it's really easy. Now, most of my students, I would say, hey, just move this over to the other side and change the sign. It's that simple, right? You can make it more complicated if you want, but it is really that simple. Change the sign. Move it to the other side of the equals, change the sign. That's it. Or, more complicated, given, right? What do? Subtract 3x, subtract 3x. Okay? What property is that?
Subtraction.
Good. Subtraction property of equality, right? And so what do I end up with? Y is equal to negative 3x plus 6. And that is in y-intercept form. Okay? Y equals. Done. It's that simple. That's all I'm asking for. Okay? So, Shane, what am I going to move here? I have given, right? I need to move my x, correct? Okay, so Ezra, how would I move that x? Not sure? Okay, so how did I move that x over here? Yeah, so I just did I added the opposite, or did the opposite, right? So if it's plus x, I'm going to do the opposite of a plus x. It's actually a minus x. So if I subtract x from both sides of the equation, you see how I'm setting that up? Then I get 2y is equal to, these cancel, and I get negative x plus 2. Do you see how we get the negative x plus 2? Right? Because it's already a positive 2 over here, and I want to always put the x first. Right? So it's in y equals mx plus b form. Okay, so what property was that? What was it? Come on. Riley, what was it?
Negative property of equality?
Yes. Subtraction property of equality. Okay, now what? Now I want to get y alone. How do I get y alone if it's multiplied by 2? Divide by 2. But what I do to that, I got to do to everything, right? So that means that there's a hidden negative 1 right here. So really there's a negative 1 right there, and I'm going to divide it by 2. I'm going to divide this by 2. Okay? And so 2 divided by 2 cancels out. So I get y equals negative x over 2, or I could call it negative 1/2 x. Does that make sense? Plus how much? What's 2 divided by 2?
1.
1. So plus 1. And is that in y equals mx plus b form?
Yes.
What did I do? What property was that?
Division.
Yes. Do you see how we're really setting you up? And so in algebra, algebra, right? I'm making my algebra students do this. They have to do this 2-column proof. Don't you think that would have helped you now if you did it last year? Does that make sense? This year would have been a lot easier when we started doing these proofs, right? Now in algebra, I'm just using SA, DM, and all that stuff, right? And then you start to learn this year, oh, that's subtraction property or addition property. If it's DM, it's division or multiplication, right? SA, addition, subtraction, right? Okay. So with this one, again, I start with the given, right? Now this one's going to be fun because it's kind of already there, believe it or not. But I need to do what? I need to get y alone, right? So how do I get y alone? Divide by what?
5.
Not just 5.
-5.
-5. But what I do to that, I got to do to everything, right? So that means this gets divided by -5. That means this gets divided by -5, right? And 2 negatives make a positive. So I got 8 over 5x, right? Now how many times does 5 go into 20? 4 times, right? And a negative and a positive make a negative. Okay? And then these cancel, right? So I just get y. Now is that in y equals mx plus b form?
Yes.
Almost. Not yes yet. But what did we do to get there? Division, property of equality, right? And then watch this. You remember this form? This? Now I've switched this. So it says y is equal to 8/5 x minus 4. What property is that when we go from a equals b to b equals a? You remember? Is it up here? Thought it was up here. Yes. You said it. Who said it? Nice job, Lily. Symmetric, right? Symmetric property. Oh, it's right here. Symmetric. When A is congruent to B, and then you switch it to B is congruent to A, right? So in other words, if this equals that, then that is equal to this. That's all. That's it. Symmetric property. So far, so good? Okay? One more. One more for you, okay? All right, love you. Let's go. I gotta get y alone. How? Okay, first I gotta say given, right?
Division, property of equality.
Not quite. Not quite.
Oh.
Now, that's an x.
No,
So
you-
yeah, you would have been right to get x alone.
Negative, we could put a negative 5 under that 5, -5? So would that be,
We could divide by 5, but what we want to do first is, remember, SAT MET.
so subtract?
Subtraction and addition first, right?
Okay.
So the 10's being added, right? There's a positive 10. So how do I move that 10? Subtract it. So minus 10 and minus 10, right? So that's the subtraction property of equality, right? And so now I have negative 7x minus 10 equals negative 5y. Does everyone follow me on that one? Okay? Now what do we do? Divide. By how much? And everybody on the block gets it, right? -5, -5, -5, right? Okay? So that's the division property of equality, right? And so 2 negatives make a positive, right? So that's 7 over 5x. And then how many times is 5 going to 10?
Twice.
Twice. And 2 negatives make a?
Positive.
So it's positive 2. You feel me? Right? Okay, then these cancel and I just get a y, right? And what do I do now? I need to make it y equals, right? So if I go y equals 7/5 x plus 2, right? Then what property is that? Ezra, what property is that?
Addition property of equality.
Which one?
Addition property of equality.
No,
Subtraction property.
no.
Multiplication.
When I flip it. Now we did the division already, right? What I'm doing here is I'm flipping it. Instead of this equals y, y equals that. Instead of this equals that, that equals this. Instead of a equals b, b equals a.
So.
Symmetric.
Symmetric.
Oops, I was gonna say symmetric.
Okay? And that's it. And the reason we do it like this is so we can quickly grasp. This is at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's the dot. I go down 3, 1, 2, 3, over 1. Boom. There's my line. It's that simple. If I wanted to graph this, it'd be at 1. Then I go down 1, over 2. Boom. It's that simple. If I wanted to graph this, okay, it's at -4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to go up 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Over how many? 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Boom. There it is. That's your line. If I wanted to graph this one, it's that simple. I'm at 2. And then I go up 7 and over 5. That's simple. Okay? Graphing is easy. It's easy if you know what you're doing. Learn the rules of the game, right? And then know them better than anyone else. Who said that?
You did just now.
I wish. Albert Einstein.